that escalated quickly was a person, it would be me. Hey guys, we are back with another one, and before we start this video, not that I owe you an explanation because I know every single one of you is proud of me and would have done the same thing, but I want to give you a little backstory about how this video started and the intent of this video. And apparently my dog's gonna bark through it. We're gonna learn to embrace it. It is what it is. So here's a little bit of backstory for this video. My 36th birthday was April 30th, and I had the genius idea of doing a buying 36 books for my 36th birthday haul. Like, I wanted to go to the store, and I think I might even have some footage of me shopping for my birthday, and I wanted to buy 36 books to highlight for my 36th birthday. And I did that. The problem was stopping at 36. Picking up what I'm putting down? So, basically, you are getting today my most unhinged book haul that I have done to date on this channel because I believe I stopped counting at 50. So, although I feel like I turned 50, I did not, in fact, turn 50. I turned 36, but we're just going to have to scrap the 36 books for my 36th birthday and do like the 195 books that I bought for my 36th birthday, which doesn't have as catchy of a ring to it, but it is what it is. So without further ado, let's talk about every single book I bought, Kindle book I downloaded, maybe even a new device, hint hint, and every special edition I've gotten in the last, God, maybe 2 months? No. Oh my God, like 3 weeks. Jeez Louise. All right, I brought you in closer so that you can see the books, and we're just going to start with the physical books I bought. Some of these are from Barnes & Noble, some of these are from Target, and maybe 1 or 2 of them I got from Amazon. I'm not sure, but long story short, I didn't keep the stickers on them, nor did I keep them in the bags they came in or the boxes they came in, so I'm not sure. But these books came between like Barnes & Noble, Target, and Amazon. So the first book that I picked up was Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This is, from what I understand, Stephen King's foray into fantasy. I think it still does have like a horror thriller element, but it's his foray into fantasy, which really does intrigue me. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I always thought that this was like some sort of eye on the cover of this book. I'll post a picture here. But when I look closer at it, it is a man and a dog going down a stairwell, which makes sense when you read the synopsis. Now, here's what we're going to do in this video because I have so many books to go over. I am not going to read the backs of these books, but I'm just going to give you the gist of what each book is about. And from what I understand, this is a book about a boy who inherits the keys to a parallel world where good and evil are at war, and the stakes could not be higher for that world or ours. Have I read a single Stephen King book? No. Do I have about 6 of them now? Yeah, makes sense, right? The next book I picked up was Ministry of Time, The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. I actually had this pre-ordered, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember why, but now I'm super excited that I did because I know certainly Haley read this and really liked it. I think this is like a sci-fi, I'm not sure, sci-fi romance? It says it's a hilarious romp through time, space, and the human heart that announces an exhilarating new voice in contemporary fiction. It says in the near future, a civil servant is offered the salary of her dreams to work on a top secret project. A recently established government ministry is gathering expats from across history to establish whether time travel is feasible for the human body, but also for the fabric of space-time. I think basically what happens is because she's working in this time-traveling corporation, she's asked to host a person who is time man, who has time traveled, and I think there's like an adventure, maybe even a little romance there. Can these descriptions get any more vague? I don't think so, but I encourage you to go read all of the synopses on your whatever book purchasing website you buy them from because I just have to speed through these today. So the next book I know that I picked up from Barnes & Noble because I actually hemmed and hawed about whether or not I was going to buy it. I had seen it coming out as like a coming soon book on the website, and then I went in and I picked it up the first time, kind of put it back on the shelves, decided I wasn't sure if I really wanted it or if I really needed like a physical copy, messed around with downloading it on my Kindle, and then went into Barnes & Noble another time and saw it again and just decided to grab it when Book of the Month decided to make this one of their selected and curated books. That is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. It's blurbed by Gabrielle Zevin, which I really liked, and I just, for some reason, I'm so intrigued by this cover. And I think the basic gist of it is that this woman buys or inherits a home where a new husband comes down from the attic, either at will or at certain times. I'm not sure why, but it says, "Do you take this man? No? What about this one?" So it says, when Lauren returns home to her flat in London late one night, she is greeted at the door by her husband, Michael. There's only one problem. She's not married. She's never seen this man before in her life, but according to her friends, her much improved decor, and the photos on her phone, they've been together for years. As Lauren tries to puzzle out how she could be married to someone she can't remember meeting, Michael goes to the attic to change a light bulb and abruptly disappears. In his place, a new man emerges, and a new, slightly altered life reforms around her. Realizing that her attic is creating an infinite supply of husbands, Lauren confronts the question, if swapping lives is as easy as changing a light bulb, how do you know you've taken the right path? Why does that sound so intriguing? This is either going to be really, really good or really, really ridiculous. Next up, I know I got from Barnes & Noble as well because I actually accidentally left a sticker on the book, which I very rarely do. But this is Sally Hepworth's new book, Darling Girls. It says, Revenge is Sweet. And it says, Sisters, Secrets, Love, and Murder. For as long as they can remember, Jessica, Nora, and Alicia have been told how lucky they are. As young girls, they were rescued from family tragedies and raised by a loving foster mother, Miss Fairchild, on an idyllic farming estate and given an elusive second chance at a happy family life. But their childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks it was. Miss Fairchild had rules. Miss Fairchild could be unpredictable, and Miss Fairchild was never, ever to be crossed. Okay. Once again, I always buy mystery thrillers, and I just never enjoy them. But Sally Hepworth's a really renowned mystery thriller writer, so maybe she'll convince me. Next, I picked up the physical copy of a book I actually have on my Kindle, but I own this author's entire works, so I definitely wanted to pick it up, and that is Girl Abroad. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so I own all of the other Barnes & Noble exclusives in her other books, so I just wanted to complete my collection, but this is about a girl who goes to study abroad and is moving into a flat, I believe, with a bunch of roommates who she assumes are women, but when she gets there, it turns out that she's moving into a flat of roommates that are males. And I think there's a little bit of like a love triangle with her and two of the roommates. So give me a love triangle. I'm into it. Next up is a book I picked up from Barnes & Noble because I actually am going to show you the special edition of it in a little bit. I did get, I believe it was the Owl Crate version of this book. So this is going to be a bit repetitive, but I don't try to read my special editions of books if I don't have to. So I did grab Your Blood, My Bones by Kelly Andrew at Barnes & Noble when I was there. I think this is YA, and it says, a girl who will not love, a boy who cannot die, a twisted destiny neither can escape. Wyatt Westlock has one plan for the farmhouse she just inherited, to burn it to the ground. But during her final walkthrough of her childhood home, she makes a shocking discovery in the basement. Peter, the boy she once considered her best friend, strung up in chains and left for dead. Unbeknownst to Wyatt, Peter has suffered from hundreds of ritualistic deaths on her family's property. Jesus. This is YA? This is darker than I thought. Semi-immortal, Peter never remains dead for long, but he can't really live either. Not while he's bound to the farm, locked in a cycle of grisly deaths and painful rebirths. There's only one way for him to break free. He needs to end the Westlock line. He needs to kill Wyatt. Okay, I did not expect that. This is not at all what I thought this was going to be. I guess now that I'm looking at it, the cover is a bit macabre, so I don't know. That's a little bit darker than I usually go. Next is another book I have on my Kindle. I was actually sent the ARC of this book, and I believe I do have... No, I didn't get the special edition of this one because I signed up too late, but Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. This book has really been taking BookTok and BookTube by storm. I've heard it's amazing, and all I know about it is it's a romance between a witch and a witch hunter, and it sounds really good. Yet another author that I own all of her collective works and yet have not read one of her books is Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. This is her new release, And I'm really intrigued by the cover because I'll post a bigger picture here, but it has a car submerged in a lake. I just think that's really interesting. So, okay. It says, the discovery of the first car was a shock. The second car was a pattern, a warning, and the key to a decades-old mystery that may be better off left to the past. Mirror Lake, nestled in the mountains of North Carolina, is a beautiful waterfront community where neighbors know neighbors, family businesses are the norm, and the small-town way of life seems to go on year after year uninterrupted. When the long-serving detective dies suddenly, his daughter Hazel returns home after nearly 10 years away, wary of the place and the people she's left behind. But Hazel isn't the only relic of the past to resurface. A drought has descended on the region, and as the water level in the lake drops, long-hidden secrets begin to emerge. Soon, Hazel finds evidence that may finally explain what happened to her mother, who disappeared when Hazel was a teenager, taking the family's savings with her. That actually sounds really, really good. The next book was 100% an impulse buy because I actually don't know anything that it's about, and I simply bought it because the cover really, really called to me. And that is Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. I was shopping around Barnes & Noble and picking up other stuff, and I saw this cover, and I'm like, this is adorable, but I have no clue what it's about. I think it sounds, Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. It sounds like a cozy mystery, right? Or like a vacation mystery. It says 10 days, 8 suspects, 6 cities, 5 authors, 3 bodies, 1 trip to die for. All that best-selling author Eleanor Dash wants is to get through her book tour in Italy and kill off her main character, Connor Smith, in the next novel in her Vacation Mysteries series. Is that too much to ask? Clearly it is, because when an attempt is made to kill the real Connor, the handsome but infuriating con man she got mixed up with 10 years ago and now can't get out of her life, Eleanor's enlisted to help solve the case. And I don't know if you can see this, but this edition is so pretty. Wow. Love this cover sketch, but could we please try something where Connor isn't such a focus? Maybe he can be smaller this time. That's so funny. 100% a cover purchase. It just, the title caught me, the cover got me. It ended up in my cart. The next author is an author I have actually read and really enjoyed in the past. Do own everything she's ever written. And that is Sweet Nightmare by Tracy Wolff. This is the beautiful Barnes & Noble special edition. How gorgeous is this cover? Calder Academy is a total nightmare. Don't fall asleep. So this sounds like it's like a magical academia. It says the scariest school on earth is about to experience real fear. Most schools are about being the best. This school, it's about being the worst. Calder Academy is where the rogue paranormals go, the ones who break the rules or lose control. And when that happens for vampires, werewolves, witches, and dark fae, it gets pretty freaking scary. I should know because I'm trapped here. So I guess it's a dark academia book about where the bad fae and villains go. Next up, I picked up 5 Broken Blades by May Corland. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. I actually don't think this is a special edition. I think this is just the first print edition that does have the beautiful sprayed edges on it. It says, let the best liar win. I've got to be honest with you, I haven't heard the greatest initial impressions on this book, so now I'm a little nervous. But it says, it's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god King June. He has it coming. Under his merciless immortal hand, the nobles flourish while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. I'm sorry if you could hear the neighbor kid yelling. It is beautiful outside, and the kids were all playing, and I wanted to try to get like some fresh breeze, so I have my like patio doors open, but having a bit too much fun out there. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tested bitterness from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, and even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. Look at how beautiful. Let the best liar win. I'm going to be honest with you, even if I end up not liking this book, I probably would have bought it because this edition is just so dang pretty. We have to close this door. It's crazy. Hold on. So much for fresh air. That kid is screaming. Okay, the next book I got was The Honey Witch by Sydney Shields. Another book I haven't heard the highest praise for, initial reactions, and I've heard you have to go into this with the right expectations that this is very cozy, like think Emily Wilde, think Legends and Lattes, think kind of reading it more for like the vibes and the atmosphere more than for the storyline from what I understand. It's a bit slow moving. But it says, the honey witch is cursed to never find true love, but when she meets a young woman who doesn't believe in magic, she dares to hope for more. I did, of course, also have to pick up the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. I already talked about it when I talked about Girl Abroad, but I own everything that Elle Kennedy has ever come out with in the Barnes & Noble edition, so this just added to my collection. I am currently, I don't even know what book I'm on. I think I'm only on like the third or the fourth book in the Briar U, what is it? Briar U something series. I don't even know. I'll put it on the screen, but this is the follow-up series to that, where it takes all the characters from Briar U and it centers on their children. Then I picked up This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This is her new book, and it says, this summer they'll keep their promise. This summer they won't give in to temptation. This summer will be different. Lucy is the tourist vacationing at a beach house on Prince Edward Island. Felix is the local who shows her a very good time. The only problem, Lucy doesn't know he's her best friend's younger brother. Lucy... Wait. How do you not know your best friend's younger brother? How good friends can you be if you've never met her younger brother? Okay. Stop overanalyzing. I'm just saying, I know all of my best friend's siblings, and I certainly know that they exist. Even if I'm not, like, hanging out with somebody's sibling, I know their existence. Like, I'll be able to pick them out of a lineup, you know what I'm saying? Okay, rant over. Anyways, Lucy and Felix's chemistry is unreal, but the list of reasons why they need to stay away from each other is long, and they vow to never repeat that electric night. It's easier said than done. Each year, Lucy escapes to Prince Edward Island for a big breath of coastal air, fresh oysters, and crisp vino verde with her best friend Bridget. Her best friend Bridget, whose brother she apparently doesn't acknowledge the existence of. Got it. But she's old enough to drink wine, which means she's at least 21 years old, and in 21 years is just figuring out that her best friend Bridget has a brother. Got it. Every visit begins with a long walk on the beach beneath soaring red cliffs and a golden sun, and every visit Lucy promises herself she won't end up in Felix's bed again. Oh, wait. So are they saying that when she was younger, she went on vacation to Prince Edward Island and she met Felix and then became friends with Bridget? I don't know. I'm going to have to read it because that seems weird. Next up is The Paradise Problem by none other than Mrs. Christina and Mrs. Lauren for Christina Lauren. Ooh, as I drop it. I know nothing about this, but anything that Christina Lauren writes, I'm going to pick up. So it says, it's a delicious new romance between the buttoned-up heir of a grocery train and a free-spirited artist as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. Sign me up. Oh my gosh, another sticker? I swear to God, these stores should have to pay for my next manicure. Why? Why? Oh wait, please come off in one piece. Does anyone else have like serious sticker anxiety where as you're peeling it, you get like anxiety if it starts fraying and it's not going to come off in one? No, it just did it. No. Okay, there you go. All right. That was actually not that bad. I'm being dramatic. Okay. The next book that I picked up, actually the next two, are books that my son picked out while we were at the store. I'm talking about the books that you just picked out for me while we were at the store. Remember?
What books?
The two books that you picked out. So he's going to learn about this apparently with you because he doesn't remember picking them out for me, even though he told me that he thinks I would love them and I had to have them. So the first book is One by One by Frida McFadden. You don't remember picking these out? He's coming down the stairs to my office right now. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first book I picked out was One by One by Frida McFadden. I have read The Housemaid by her and I think one of her other books, and I did like relatively enjoy it. So you were on to something there.
Do you have a stapler?
Do I have a stapler? No. I don't have a stapler.
I need staples.
Oh, you are going to have to wait.
I can't.
Has anyone else ever had a problem where they just cannot wait for a stapler? It's just problems around here that are just never going to be solved. So this says, one by one, they will get what they deserve. Claire Matchett needs this trip. It will be a break from work and raising children, a chance to repair her damaged marriage, a week of hiking and hot tubbing with friends at a luxurious hotel in the woods, disconnected from the pressures of real life. Then, on a lonely dirt road, Claire's minivan breaks down. With no cell reception, the group has no choice but to walk the rest of the way to their remote accommodation. But the forest is dark and difficult to navigate, and hours later, they are lost, hopelessly lost. As they venture deeper into the woods, the members of their party are struck down mysteriously one by one. That's terrifying. I don't know how I feel about that. Cole also picked out I was just about to say the spell shop. No. The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. It says, how far will you go to find your story? I actually don't think I've really heard people talking about this book, but he saw it and he was like, Mom, this looks exactly like something you would like. It says, on a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives, but when a vanishing bookshop casts its spells, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. Sounds cute. The next book is a book I'm really excited about, and I've got to be honest with you. It is Kindle Unlimited, so I very highly doubt I'm ever going to read the physical copy because it is a brick and a half, but I specifically wanted to get this while it was still being indie published because I think it was just picked up maybe by Bloom, I don't know, but it was just picked up by a regular publisher and I wanted the indie copy, and that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. If you can understand like how much of a brick this book is, oh my god, and the writing is so small. I am most likely never going to pick this up and just like sit there and flip the pages, but I will read it on the Kindle and move the bookmark. But I definitely wanted to grab this. I don't know much about this except it has something to do with, is it dragons represented by moon cycles? When the Moon Hatched. I don't know. It says, as an assassin for the rebellion group Fjord Da'ath, Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of... I was apparently completely wrong about what this book is about. Bounty hunter? Why are there dragons on it? Anyways. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Khan Vagor took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rave. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to this story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. I am mind-blown right now. Because apparently I have no clue what this book is about. I thought this was about, like, dragons and the cycles of the moon. So now I'm even more intrigued. Because I don't know what book it is that I'm thinking of. I also didn't take the sticker off of this one, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am so tired of taking stickers off of books right now that we're just going to hold my hand over it and ignore it because I picked up a copy of The Women by Kristen Hanna. I grabbed this one at BJ's one day when I was there shopping. Which for anyone, I think it's like a Northeast thing, maybe. For anyone who doesn't know, it's like a Sam's Club, Costco type of warehouse deal. And it was only on the table for $17.99, and I did decide that I wanted a physical copy of this, even though I'm probably going to read it on my Kindle. But Kristen Hanna does a lot of like wartime historical fiction, so I'm pretty sure that this is what this one's about, and I'm assuming it's about the women that are left at home during wartime, but I've heard it's very good. I also went ahead and picked up Glint in the new Barnes & Noble special editions that have the gold sprayed edges. I have the first one, Guild, somewhere around here, and I have no idea where I put it, but I am going to collect this series in the gold sprayed edges. I don't know if, yeah, it's above here, but I do have the Illumicrate special editions, and I love collecting special editions of this book, so I need to have the iconic gold sprayed edges of this series, and also the spines. Once you put them all in a line, they create a really pretty picture, so I definitely wanted this. This was originally how this series was posted in the UK, and I loved it then, so I'm so happy that it's making its way to the US. It was bothering me, so I went and searched through my shelves, and I found it. This is the first book in the series, Guild, so if you look at the two of them together, when you put them on your shelves, they're going to have the beautiful gold sprayed edges, and then you can kind of sort of tell that their spines also go together, and that design is going to keep curling up and make this pretty gold design. So I do have Guild and Glint in the new special editions. This stack is starting to wobble around, and I'm just hoping it doesn't fall and hit me in the back of the head on camera. So we might have to start a new stack, but Next, I picked up She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica. I did read Local Woman Missing by her, and I do own, what is it, Such a Nice Couple? Just a Nice Couple? Local Woman Missing was decent for me. I actually really enjoyed the storyline of that one, but the pacing just really threw me off. It would go from like super action-packed and I'd be interested, then it would go to like nothing, and there would be whole chapters that just didn't interest me in the book and didn't further the story. I don't know if that was specifically to Local Woman Missing or that's like a writing and stylistic trait of Mary Kubica. So I do want to read another one or two of her books, so I wanted to pick up this one. And it says, an ICU nurse accidentally uncovers a patient's frightening past in this riveting thriller. Okay, I wonder what she's not sorry for. Next is the second in a series that has gotten so much hype lately, and I read the first one quite a while ago, and it wasn't my favorite. And now because everyone is literally obsessing over it lately, I'm thinking, maybe I should reread it. But the second book is A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. The first book is A Dawn of Onyx, and everyone's literally talking about how much they love it. And I remember reading it and giving it like a 3.5. And I actually very distinctly remember that one of the reasons why I couldn't rate it any higher was because I just didn't buy the romance between the two characters in this romantasy. Like, I just didn't feel the chemistry, but I did read it at a time where I wasn't as experienced or well read in the romantasy genre. So maybe it was a me problem and not a Kate Golden book problem. So I think that before I pick up this one, I might attempt to read A Dawn of Onyx again, just so it's really fresh in my brain. And maybe now that I've gotten more involved in the genre, like I'll get it a bit more and I'll feel the chemistry a bit more. But I do know that this world is divided into sections that are each named after a gemstone. So there's onyx, peridot, jade. And I know that the king of the onyx kingdom, I believe, is known to be like really ruthless and horrible, and our main female character is taken as his prisoner to help save her brother, and the story evolves from there. I have no idea what happens in this one, and I don't want to know because I think I am going to retry the series. Next up, I grabbed A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Cathrall. This is rumored to be coming up in one of the special edition boxes, and off the top of my head I can't remember which one it was, but I don't think it's a monthly box. I think it's one that I actually had to pre-order, like a special edition of, so I wanted to grab it so that I can actually not read my special edition. But it says, E is content with a solitary life in her extraordinary underwater home until the discovery of a strange, beautiful creature outside her window prompts her to become a correspondence with renowned scholar Henry Clell. The letters they share are filled with passion, at first for their mutual interest and then inevitably for each other. But when a mysterious seaquake destroys E's home, she and Henry vanish. A year later, E's sister Sophie and Henry's brother Viren must piece together the letters, sketches, and field notes left behind and learn what their siblings' disappearances might mean for life as they know it. That sounds so good. I love it. For some reason, I'm really into any like underwater stories. Like, I know Fathom Folk has been getting kind of like mediocre reviews, and I can't actually get behind that as far as the storyline being a bit subpar, but just the atmosphere and like the submerged city and the merfolk, I get really into. So if they live underwater, I'm assuming this might be merfolk. It also kind of feels very like Ariel's Grotto on the cover, so I'm excited about that one. I then grabbed Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. Trisha Levenseller has written so many books. There's like the Daughter of the Pirate Queen series, but there's also The Shadows Between Us, and I know The Darkness Within Us, I think, is the next one that's coming out. And I read The Shadows Between Us and loved her writing. Loved it. I was so blown away by how much I loved that book, because I went into it like not very excited, but like mediocrely excited, like, oh yeah, this should be good. I think it was one of my like spin wheel picks, and ended up eating that book up in like less than 24 hours. And it was something about her writing that I just really enjoyed. And I think this is one of her older and more YA stories. And it says 18-year-old Ziva prefers metal to people. She spends her days tucked away in her forge, safe from society and the anxiety it causes her, using her magical gift to craft craft unique weapons imbued with power. Then Ziva receives a commission from a powerful warlord, and the result is a sword capable of stealing its victim's secrets. A sword that can cut far deeper from the length of its blade, a sword with the strength to topple kingdoms. When Ziva learns of the warlord's intentions to use the weapon to enslave all the world under her rule, she takes her sister and flees. Joined by a distractingly handsome mercenary and a young scholar with an extensive knowledge of the world's known magic, Ziva and her sister set out on a quest to keep the sword safe until they could find a worthy wielder or a way to destroy it entirely. Trisha Levenseller writes it. I'm sold. I know next to nothing about this next book, and it was 100% a purchase because I had a bunch of books in my cart that were buy one, get one free, but I had an uneven number of them, so I needed one more. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one 50% off. So I needed one more book to be my 50% off book. So I grabbed The Tearsmith by Erin Doom. It was just a cover purchase and I needed it for a 50% off book. It said, a gripping tale of impossible love. Two orphan teens are taken in by the same family and forced to reckon with the destructive love that could be the undoing of them both. I do think this is more of like a toxic love story. The next book I grabbed because it's Barnes & Noble's YA book club of, I believe it was this month, and it's The Lilies by Quinn Diakin Furtado. I think this is another academia. Bury the Secrets, Remember the Product. Bury the Secrets, Remember the Promise. Joining the Lilies Society will change your life or end it. It says, at Archwell Academy, everyone knows that membership in the Lilies Society is the best way to secure your ticket to a successful future. But like many secret societies, there is a dark truth buried beneath the facade. Sometimes lilies disappear. When 4 Archwell students find themselves trapped in a mysterious time loop following a new pledge's disappearance, they discover that every one of them holds a clue that will unlock the secrets of the lilies. So dark academia, kind of like a secret society time portal type of deal. Hope it's good. This next book I'm so excited about, and it actually was a special edition for one of the book boxes, and I skipped it because I didn't know if I'd love it, and it is one of my biggest regrets recently because I have seen amazing things, and that is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden, who I believe is a pretty beloved author, but I've never read anything by her. I think this is a paranormal, like ghosty romance. It says, during the Great War, a combat nurse searches for her brother, believed dead, in the trenches despite eerie signs that suggest otherwise, in this hauntingly beautiful historical novel with a speculative twist. It takes place in 1918. I have heard this book is stunningly written, and I really, really wish that I had grabbed the special edition when it was out. Not surprisingly, I also picked up Funny Story by Emily Henry. I got this from Target. I recently just read Beach Read, and I cannot explain to you. It was my first 5-star book of 2024, and I cannot explain to you how much reading that book has changed my life and my outlook on writing recently. And Emily Henry, in that book, made me understand the hype that surrounds her, and it only makes me more excited for this book. I think it's a little confusing, but I think the 2 main and female characters, exes left them for each other or something like that, and they're navigating that funny relationship, which is hysterical because that would be a funny story, so it makes sense. Next, I grabbed Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. And can I just say, first of all, that the Barnes & Noble, what is this? Bloom, it is Bloom. The Bloom Barnes & Noble editions of these books are like Brandon Sanderson level floppy. This is beautiful floppiness. This is going to be so easy to read. The writing is beyond ridiculously tiny, but these are beautifully floppy. So formatting on these books, A+. This is the 4th book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. This is the 5th book in the Boys of Tommen series. I'm purposely not going to read the back, but I believe this is Gibbsie's story, who is one of the most beloved characters in this series. Then I also grabbed Ready or Not by Cara Baston. This is an accidental pregnancy trope. I know it's like people's least favorite trope, but I actually really don't mind it, especially if it's done well. If it's done in like a cheesy, toxic way, not my favorite, but from what I understand, this isn't. It says a surprise pregnancy leads to even more life-changing revelations in this heartfelt, slow burn, friends to lovers romance. This has the potential of being really, really adorable. Now this stack is getting a little dicey. Stay, don't fall. Next, myself, along with literally everybody else on the planet, grabbed Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is the first book, what is it, in the Rose Hill series. So this is the follow-up series to the Chestnut Hill series, and I believe this is Ford's story, who is Willa's brother. Willa is from book 2 in the Chestnut Spring series. She's the female main character, and she has this like billionaire brother, Ford, who she mentions a lot in this book. And I think the Rose Hill series is going to center, at least this book, Wild Love, is going to center on him as the main male character of the first book. So I do know that he's a billionaire. So billionaire romance. Then I grabbed the Rule Book by Sarah Adams. Full disclosure. Oh, I left a sticker on this one too. My bad. Full disclosure, I have only read one book by Sarah Adams, and it was The Cheat Sheet, and I didn't love it. It was okay, but I actually found the female main character really annoying, and the main male character and the female character's love story was a little annoying because all they did was hurt each other just over and over again for no reason. Like, a simple conversation could have cleared up so much of that, but instead they spent the entire book doing stupid you-know-what that hurt each other. So I hope this gets better because I believe this is like a follow-up to The Cheat Sheet. It says, college exes break all the rules when they reunite years later in this enemies to lovers second chance romance. The highly anticipated companion novel to The Cheat Sheet from Sarah Adams. So I guess it's going to be in the same world as that book, which I'm kind of like, ugh, because I didn't love the characters, but adorable cover, very cute writing, and I mean, you fly through these books, so it's worth a try. Down to our last couple of books physically before we move on to our next category. The next book, full disclosure, is at all the way at the bottom of a stack on one of my shelves, and I am entirely too lazy to take them all out because it's stuffed full. But I did grab The Hemlock Queen, which is the second book in the series by Hannah Witten. The first one is The Foxglove King. Haven't read it, don't want to know what's in it, but I did grab The Hemlock Queen. Then I grabbed The Clinic by Kate Quinn. I've seen a lot of people rave about this book. I've heard it's really, really good. It says, Meg works for a casino in LA, catching cheaters and popping a few too many pain pills to cope, following a far different path than her sister Haley, a famous actress. But suddenly reports surface of Haley dying at the remote rehab facility where she had been forced to go to get her addictions under control. There are whispers of suicide, but Meg can't believe it. She decides that the best way to find out what happened to her sister is to check in herself, to investigate what really happened from the inside. Battling her own addictions and figuring out the truth will be much more difficult than she imagined. Far away from her friends, family, and anyone who could help her. I've heard this book is really, really good. The next book I've heard only good things about until recently, when I've seen some people, I believe it was it Destiny Sidwell that read this book and was like, I don't understand the hype. Like, I thought this was going to be a 5-star book for sure, and I don't get it. And that is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. She said that this book gets super disturbingly dark, which I haven't historically loved, so now I'm a little scared. But it says, are you happy with your life? Those are the last words Jason Desson hears before the kidnapper knocks him unconscious, before he awakens to find himself strapped to a gurney, surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits, before a man he's never met smiles down at him and says, welcome back, my friend. In the world he's woken up to, Jason's life is not the one he knows. His wife is not his wife, his son was never born, and Jason is not an ordinary college professor, but a celebrated genius who has achieved something remarkable, something impossible. Is it this life or the other that's the dream? And even if the home he remembers is real, how will Jason make it back to the family he loves? Yeah, I mean, when you read that, it doesn't sound like it would be, extraordinarily dark, but I've heard that this gets a bit dark. Let's just say it that way. And I don't know if I'm going to love that. So I'm intrigued to see what I think about it, but I was a lot more excited before I heard that. Last but finally not least, for our physical books at least, is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I did get the Target exclusive, and I did read the full Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and was it my favorite? No, it really wasn't. I liked the second one the best, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and then the first one, Good Girls, Bad to Murder, and then absolutely despised the last book. I always tell people, if you're going to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, just read the first two. Like, pretend the third one doesn't exist because it's horrible. It's atrocious and I hate it. I just can't stand it. but I didn't like hate the series as a whole enough to never want to read Holly Jackson again. And her writing is solid and it's very, very quick and easy. And the storyline for Reappearance of Rachel Price really intrigues me. From what I can gather, this book is about a girl who's in the backseat of her car when, as a toddler, like strapped into a car seat when her mother just disappears and goes missing. I think she's found in the car and her mother is gone or something like that. And then when she decides to kind of pick up the case and try to figure out what happened to her mother just randomly reappears and doesn't, I guess, maybe have a recollection of what happened. But I've heard that this is a really solidly written book, so I'm excited. Next, we're going to move on to the special editions portion of this haul. I am not going to read the synopses of these. I'm just going to tell you where I got them from, if that makes sense, and show you some of the cute features on them, because that's really what matters. So the first book that I picked up was, or I received, I should say, was A Curse of Blood and Wolves by Melissa McTurnan. This is May's Fairy Loot romantasy book, and it is stunning. Stunning. On the back it says, I want you to chase me, and what do you want me to do when I catch you? So, gorgeous edition. This is, I believe, Kindle Unlimited as well, so I'll probably read it on my Kindle, but there's our, who I would assume is our main male character. And here's our main female character. And it is signed by the author. Actually, and it also has a gorgeous naked cover as well, I believe. I remember right. Yes. There's the wolf on the naked cover. So there you go. Curse of Blood and Wolves. Next, Sky and Fire by Madeline Carr. This is Page and Wick's most recent book. Page and Wick is a bi-monthly subscription service that sends you a fantasy book and a kind of like matching candle. And actually, I believe this is the matching candle from this box. It's called Shadow of Cruor, C-R-U-O-R. Eeyore? I don't know. But this was the box. It is an absolutely beautiful edition. Page and Wick, besides for To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, has done, and Sword of Kaigen, I guess, has done kind of more darker versions of books. But this is absolutely stunning. Here's the naked cover. It says, A Witch's Grimoire Spell Compendium. I don't want to pull it open too much, but gorgeous artwork on the inside. Beautiful, beautiful book. You're going to hear my son freaking out upstairs about a baseball card he just got. But okay, next I grabbed the Moonlight Book Boxes version of The Flame King's Captive. Why couldn't I say that? The Flame King's Captive by Chloe Chastain. I don't buy a lot of Moonlight Book Box, but for some reason this book is really beautiful and I just needed to have it. So it is a naked cover book. It doesn't come with a dust jacket. It does have the beautiful sprayed edges, and on the back it says, Give me your lips, Shaylin. I've waited 500 years to meet you. So I guess a romantasy. Look at the gorgeous artwork on the inside. And there's our main male character. Really, really beautiful. It is signed by the author. All of these, I believe, are signed by the author. So I just had to have it. I don't know why. Don't know anything about it. Just had to have it. Like I said in my regular editions, I did get a special edition of Your Blood, My Bones, which now I'm kind of worried about how dark this is going to be. So this is the Owl Crate edition. It does have just green sprayed edges. It says, You are of the earth and the earth is in your blood. It has the main characters on the cover. It does have some gorgeous artwork on the inside. Oh wow, the naked book is very pretty with the reverse dust jacket. It says, Mortal life is so fleeting, but love is as enduring as death. God, this seems so dark. More artwork on the back. Beautiful, beautiful edition. So I'm not going to read this one because I have the regular edition, but I did receive this from Owl Crate. Then the Afterlight exclusive book was The Kiss Countdown by Etta Easton. I think this is like a NASA romance, something like that. Yeah, she's a jobless, newly single, and about to be evicted. Singleman in Houston. I don't know. Yeah, they claim to be astronauts or something. I don't know. It sounds adorable. And this edition is absolutely stunning. Look at the rocket ship. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. You're probably not going to be able to see that, but this edition is beautiful. It has the rocket ship on the sprayed edges. There you go, so it won't focus on my face. It has the rocket ship on the sprayed edges, and I love it. I also received the Fairy Loot edition of Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Sabrana. This is stunning. It has the mushrooms on the sprayed edges. Another book I've heard mixed reviews about, but it says, would you like to know how to capture the moonlight and wield it for yourself? How about wish mushrooms will give you the strength of 100 men, and which will put 100 to sleep with just one taste, to never be subjected to the dark again? Would you like to know if your loved ones are safe all those miles away? Gorgeous artwork on the inside with the reverse dust jacket and the beautifully printed naked hardcover. So honestly, my opinion on the special editions is, even if I end up not loving the actual book, how stunning are these on your shelves? Also from Fairy Lou, I did get Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. Oh my God, these books are just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Look at the back of this book. How gorgeous is this? And then, oh my God, the color, I love the colors on this one with the reverse dust jacket and the naked book that says A Feather So Black. The characters on the inside of the cover signed by the, I can't, guys. I'm so hooked and addicted to special editions. I just think there's something so cozy about owning them and having such beautiful pieces of art on your shelves. So I did get this. Second to last on our special editions, I did get to Gaze Upon Wicked Gods from Illumicrate. This is, I believe, May's Illumicrate book, and it does have the digitally sprayed edges. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not as in love with this style of sprayed edges, not even like digital. I don't mind the digital as opposed to like the hand-drawn or sprayed, hand-sprayed. Furnace kicked on. The Battle of the Furnace continues. I just don't find this particular like geometric, almost architectural design as beautiful and artistic as something like this, which is also digital. I just find it slightly boring, but I am really excited for this book by Molly Chang. Gosh, it is gorgeous on the inside. Beautiful, beautiful edition. This is the printed naked book. Beautiful edition. Illumicrate does this kind of stuff so well. It says it's an intersection of science fiction, fantasy, and the very real devastation that colonial brings down on colonialized people. So, beautiful to gaze upon wicked gods. And last but not least in our special editions is Evocation by S.T. Gibson. I received this from Fairy Lou, I think, and it says only blood can rewrite blood. I have been really excited about this because I believe this is like in the same series or world as An Education in Malice. I'm almost positive about that. And I did receive the ARC for both of these books. So I am very, very, very excited to have a special edition. It does have these beautiful sprayed edges with the hand. Let's see what's on the inside. Oh my God. They do. I swear to God. Look at the inside artwork of the main characters. And then, as I bend the page, and then the reverse dust jacket with the naked hardcover is stunning. Beautiful. It says, I'd rather be exceptional than average. Pressure is part of the package. Very cool. So, beautiful edition. What are we even at? Should we attempt to even figure out where we're at before we go into Kindle purchases? So, for physical books, we are at... We're at 45 physical books. We have not even gone into Kindle books, which is where I really go wild. So before we even go into what books I downloaded for my Kindle, I need to talk about what I actually treated myself for my birthday / Mother's Day. And it is in this amazing little pouch that is the Sarah J. Maas Universe pouch. How pretty is that? So it has, let's see, the deer. Maybe I'll try to post an up-close picture, but it does have the deer for Throne of Glass. It has Valaris, City of Starlight on it. It has the wings for the Bat Boys. It has, actually it's right down here, the Crescent City Sea. It has To All the Stars Who Listen and the Dreams That Are Answered for Akatar. And it has To Whatever End, as well as a book that says Chapter 55 for the infamous Chapter 55 in A Court of Mist and Fury. And I saw this with the front pocket and the zipper and just fell in love with it. So I grabbed this. But what this is holding is actually what I treated myself to, which was completely unnecessary, but it was one of my favorite purchases that I've made as of late. Ready to see it? Okay. I did grab myself a Kindle Scribe. Did I need it? No, I didn't. But I justified it to myself. I do have the Kindle Paperweight already, but I did justify it to myself as the fact that I find it very annoying to switch between books on the Kindle. I don't know why, but for some reason, my books don't like filter up to the top of my list what I'm reading, and I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books on my Kindle. So it's very annoying to me that in order to read multiple books, I have to keep scrolling through my library. And am I probably doing something wrong? Is it probably user error? And there's literally a simple button I could press that would push all my books that I'm currently reading to the top? Yeah, I guarantee you there is. And I guarantee you you're all going to leave a comment below that tells me the simple 2-step way to make that happen. I say, nay, I need to buy an entirely different Kindle so that I can read 2 Kindle books. But I have had my eye on the Scribe. I love this. Maybe I should grab my Paperweight so you could see the difference in size between these 2 books. So let me go grab it. Okay, so here is my Kindle Paperweight. As you can see, I'm currently reading The Bridge Kingdom on it for the Homey and Homey Book Club, which is always linked down below. It's always free, and it's literally just the 80 or so most amazing people who just love talking about a book every month and reading it together. We break down the books by the chapter, and we read them each and discuss them together. So we are reading The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, so I have that currently going on my Paperweight. This is just my regular Paperweight Kindle. And this, let me move this, there we go, is the Kindle Scribe. Can you see the difference? I believe this has like a 10.5-inch screen, and this has like a 6 or a, I don't know, 6-inch screen, something like that. So it is significantly bigger. It's also more square, but also the thing I really, really loved about the Scribe was it did come with a pen similar to my iPad with my Apple Pen. And as you're writing, you can take notes inside your book and make like sticky notes to take notes and write down things that you love or underline quotations that you loved. And just like my Apple Pen, it does magnetize to the side of my Scribe. Although when I have it in my pouch, it doesn't fit that way. So it kind of just sits on the bottom. But this is a purchase that I will not regret, and I've been loving it. I'm currently reading Mile High on Kindle Unlimited, and the reading experience on this with the bigger screen has been incredible. So no regrets here. Also, if you're interested, I'm hoping that I can get this filmed, edited, and posted before it's off sale. So don't shoot the messenger if you're watching a replay of this and it no longer is. But when I ordered this, and up until this morning when I double checked, this is still on sale. I think it's like 28% off, and it brings it down to $279.99, and it's normally over $300. So if you are on the market for a Kindle, or if you've had your eye on the Scribe, this might be a good time to go and grab it at a discount. So let's talk about what books I picked up for my Kindle. I picked up a lot more than this, but I'm not going to talk about too many books that I have on my shelves, and I just kind of grabbed the Kindle edition. So like I've discussed before in my hauls, Kindle does daily deals where books go on sale anywhere from like 99 cents to $4.99. And if I see a book that's on my shelves that I know I'd prefer to read on my Kindle, or I just want both versions, I do grab them. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm only going to talk about books that I saw that I hadn't heard people talking about, or that I specifically wanted on my Kindle and didn't want the physical books for. So the first book I want to talk about is Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. I have seen a lot of people talk about this book, and I believe it is like a cozy mystery about, is it octogenarians, like elderly crime solvers, I think? So it says, older women often feel invisible, but sometimes that's their secret weapon. They've spent their lives as the deadliest assassins in clandestine international organization, but now that they're 60 years old, 4 women friends can't just retire. It's killed or be killed in this action-packed thriller. 4 60-year-old assassins. It sounds really cute. I also picked up The Lion's Den by Catherine St. John. This says, a dream vacation on a luxurious yacht turns deadly in this pulse-pounding beach read chock full of delicious characters who flaunt their sins like the latest Birkin bag. So I think this is like rich people drama mystery thriller. This next one I'm I'm really excited about because I've never heard anybody talk about it, but it's gotten rave reviews, and it has 4.1 stars on Goodreads and 4.3 stars on Amazon, but not very many ratings because, like I said, I don't think it's been super read. But it's When Kingdoms Fall by Callie Dahl, I think is how you say it. Callie Dahl. It says, a mortal girl, Trafton has two rules: never leave the safety of the walls and never enter the Wylan Woods. Those who enter never return. Willa Thessalor is left with an impossible choice: be killed by the monsters hiding beneath pretty lies and faces, or enter the woods and face its woes. An elf prince, Cowis Silpeter, is the prince. Those fantasy names, man. I do not make it easy. With no kingdom to rule, he can feel his immortality and magic slipping slowly from his grasp. When the royal elf finds himself back in the cursed lands of Calandre, he discovers something more addicting than his plans for retribution: power. But to attain it, he must make a bargain and risk sacrificing all he has ever known and loved in the process. And a Fey prince, Saurian Valkian, is a troubled prince with rare and unruly magic. He is days away from becoming the king of a hidden realm. Before taking the crown, Saurian must confirm the whispers about the worsening Wylan Woods and why his mother has kept their kingdom off the maps for centuries. But heavy is the bearer of a secret crown once Saurian uncovers more questions than answers within the gods' tainted lands. It says it's an adult fantasy series intended for audiences 18 plus. So I'm assuming there's going to be a little spice up in here. Next, I grabbed The Liar's Crown by Abigail Owen. It says, some shadows protect you, others will kill you. In this dazzling new fantasy series, everything about my life is a lie. As a hidden twin princess born second, I have only one purpose: to sacrifice my life for my sister if death comes for her. I've been living under the guise of a poor, obscure girl of no standing, slipping into the palace and into the role of the true princess when danger is present. Now the queen is dead, and the ageless King Adolin has sent my sister a gift, an eerily familiar gift, and a proposal to wed. I don't trust him, so I do what I was born to do and secretly take her place on the eve of the coronation, which is why, when a figure made of shadows kidnaps the new queen, he gets me by mistake. That sounds amazing. The next book I downloaded because Rachel Catherine talked about it in one of her recent reads. It is Flower Heart by Catherine Bakewell, and I've heard this is a cozy fantasy, and it says, Clara's magic has always been wild, but it's never been dangerous. Then a simple touch causes poisonous flowers to bloom in her father's chest. The only way to heal him is to cast an extremely difficult spell that requires perfect control, and the only person willing to help is her former best friend Xavier, who's grown from a sweet, shy child into someone distant and mysterious. Xavier asks a terrible price in return, knowing Clara will give anything to save her father. As she struggles to reconcile the new Xavier with the boy she once loved, she discovers how many secrets he's hiding, and as she hunts for the truth, she instead finds the root of a terrible darkness that's taken hold in the queendom, a darkness only Clara's magic is powerful enough to stop. That actually doesn't sound as cozy as I was thinking it was going to be. I also grabbed Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. It says it's the first book in a best-selling series. I think there's 3 of them so far. And it's about a throne cruelly stolen and a girl who must fight to take it back for her people. I don't know if this is a romantasy, but I'm pretty sure it is. I also grabbed Daughter of the Drowned Empire. This was a purchase when it went on sale for 99 cents. And it says it's Cleopatra meets Fourth Wing in this romantic fantasy series with forbidden romance, political intrigue, and slow burn spice. So it had me there. For 99 cents, why wouldn't I do that? And I think right now it's actually on sale for $4.99. So if you want to go grab it, I think it is, at least at the time of filming this. The next book is I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by Peter S. Beagle. This author wrote the Lost Unicorn series, which is very whimsical and cute, and I think the cover of this book kind of just got me. But it says it has a lovable cast of characters trapped within their roles of dragon hunter, princess, and more, who must come together to take their fates into their own hands. It says dragons are common in the backwater kingdom of Bellamontaine, coming in sizes from mouse-like vermin all the way up to castle-smashing monsters. Gaius Aurelius Constantine Heliogabalus Thrax, who would much rather people call him Robert, has recently inherited his deceased dad's job as a dragon catcher / exterminator, a career he detests with all his heart, in part because he likes dragons, feeling a kinship with them, but mainly because his dream has always been the impossible one of transcending his horrible origin to someday become a prince's valet. Needless to say, fate has something rather different in mind. Sounds adorable. I'm going to go ahead and throw up 3 photos of random romanticies I downloaded. If I tried to read every single romanticy I downloaded, we would be here for years. But I did download Court of Ravens and Ruins. It's a Brides of Mist and Fae novel, book 1, or Shadowbound Queen, book 1. Then I did download A Broken Promise, book 1 in the Freckled Fate trilogy. And I did download Song of the Forever Rains, the Maasai, book 1. So there you go. There's 3 romanticies if you want to check them out. I also downloaded Enchanted to Meet You, a Witches of West Harbor novel by Meg Cabot. I've heard a couple of booktubers talk about this, and it sounds really, really cute. So it says it's a witchy rom-com about a plus-size witch who must team up with a handsome stranger to help protect her village from an otherworldly force. But will she be able to protect her heart? It's magic when you meet your match. Here's 2 more romanticies I downloaded. It's House of Ash and Shadow by Leah Stone and A Prince So Cruel by Ingrid Seymour. Go ahead and look them up if you want to and read the synopses, but I will say this about Leah Stone. I don't know if it's her covers or the names of her books, but I've actually heard that they're not very well written. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I've just heard that. And I don't know why, but I keep getting sucked into her books, so I kind of want to make a judgment for myself. So I am definitely going to go into this with an open mind. Like I said, the Homey and Homely Book Club is reading The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, and spoiler alert, I am literally loving this. There is something about Danielle L. Jensen's writing that just scratches every itch for me. It is amazing. She just writes the way I love writing to be done. And because of that, I went down kind of like a Danielle L. Jensen rabbit hole, and I did grab Dark Shores. This book was written in 2019, so it's a little bit of an older book by her. There are currently 4 books in the Dark Shores series, and it says it's a fresh, unique setting, a cast of complex and diverse characters, and an unflinching boldness. It was blurbed by the one and only Sarah J. Maas. If that doesn't tell me everything that I need to know, I don't know what does. I think it says a sailor with a will of iron, a soldier with a secret, and a dangerous quest. If Danielle L. Jensen writes it, I'm probably going to love it. So I went ahead and I think I grabbed like 3 out of the 4 in the series. Also, during one day of the Kindle sales, the entire Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers series went on sale for 99 cents a book. It was $2.99 a book, I believe. So I went ahead and grabbed all of them. If you don't know anything about this series, every book is written by a different romantasy writer. So I know Claire Sager did one, Carissa Broadbent did one, I think Helen Schorer did one. So I grabbed all of them because they were so on sale. Next up, I grabbed a book that is definitely out of my comfort zone. I grabbed Rouge by Mona Awad. I think this book actually leans more on the horror side, and I definitely don't read a ton of horror, but it sounds so intriguing. It says it's a darkly funny horror novel that harkens back to the Grimm Brothers fairy tale for the modern age. So I think this would be a good way for me to like dip my toe into horror. And it says it's about a lonely young woman who's drawn to a cult-like spot in the wake of her mother's mysterious death. Sounds really good. I also downloaded Sign Here by Claudia Lux. This book sounds so funny. It says it's about a guy who works in hell, literally. It is on the cusp of a big promotion if only he could get one more member of the wealthy Harrison family to sell their soul. So I think our main male character is like an assistant in hell. It's so funny. I've heard it's really, really funny. Next up, I downloaded Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't loved Greek mythology retellings, but I think the cover on this one sold me, and it was on sale for $1.99. I think it still might be, to be honest with you. But it says it is a perceptive take on the story of Medusa, the original monstered woman. Yeah. So I guess it's a Medusa mythology retelling. The next book I kind of hemmed and hawed over whether I really wanted it, but it was on sale for $2.99, so I figured that was a pretty good sign that I should just give it a try. I mean, like, what's the worst case scenario? I don't like it and I wasted $3. Not that big of a deal. That is The Bone Orchard by Sarah A. Mueller. It says it's a fascinating whodunit set in a lush gothic world of secrets and magic where a dying emperor charges his favorite concubine with solving his own murder and preventing the culprit, which undoubtedly is one of his 3 terrible sons, from taking control of an empire. First of all, that is a very long sentence. Second of all, it sounds pretty good, but like, I don't know. I think for $2.99 it was a good purchase. Then I downloaded The Three Body Problem by Cixin Liu, I think is how you pronounce it. I saw this pop up as a Netflix special and was kind of intrigued by it. I believe this is a sci-fi. It says, set against the backdrop of China's Cultural Revolution, a secret military project sends signals into space to establish contact with aliens. An alien civilization on the brink of destruction captures the signal and plans to invade Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, different camps start forming, planning to either welcome the superior beings and help them take over a world seen as corrupt, or to fight against the invasion. The result is a science fiction masterpiece of enormous scope and vision. Full disclosure, this might be like way over my head, but it is normally like $12 to $15 and went on sale for like $1.99 one day, so I scooped it up. Similarly to the Three Body Problem, such a strange name, being a sci-fi and the other Stone Blind being a mythology that kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone, I also downloaded The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. This is an epic fantasy, and I think the cover is absolutely stunning, but the physical copy is massive, and I don't know if I would necessarily love it, but was on sale for like $4.99 one day, and I think it's over 600 pages physically, so I figured for $5 this was the way to go in case it's not for me. But it says, a young man with forbidden magic finds himself drawn into an ancient war against a dangerous enemy in book 1 of the Lycanius trilogy, the series that fans are heralding as the next Wheel of Time. That is a huge claim that people are saying that it could be compared in the next progression of the Wheel of Time series, which is one of the most iconic high fantasy series of all time. So we'll see if it lives up to the hype. Next, I grabbed The Stand-In by Lily Chu. This is a rom-com, I believe. Yeah, it says an engaging rom-com that drips in glamour and sparkles with banter. I believe it says Gracie Reed was just fired by her overly handsy boss at the worst possible moment. She's been scraping together every extra dollar to get her mother into a top-notch memory care center. To make matters worse, a paparazzo has mistaken her for a famous Chinese actress in town for a new project, and the resulting snapshot has gone viral. Gracie's barely holding it all together until a mysterious SUV rolls up beside her on the street and she's offered the opportunity of a lifetime. Gracie can't believe what she's hearing. Due to their uncanny resemblance, gorgeous actress Wei Fang Li wants Gracie to be her stand-in. The catch? Gracie will have to be escorted by Sam Yao, the other half of Chinese cinema's infamous golden couple. Problem is, Sam is the most attractive and infuriating man Gracie's ever met. Sounds cute, and it went on sale for $1.99, so I thought that was a good purchase too. I also grabbed The Return of Ellie Black by Amiko Jean, I don't know how she's pronouncing it. This intrigued me because it was a book of the month pick, and I did actually pay full price for this. I paid $14.99 for this one. It says, Detective Chelsea Calhoun's life is turned upside down when she gets the call Ellie Black, a girl who disappeared years earlier, has resurfaced in the woods of Washington State. But Ellie's reappearance leaves Chelsea with more questions than answers. I've heard it's very good. I then grabbed Welcome to Fae Cafe by Jennifer Kropf. It went on sale for 99 cents, and I have been intrigued by this book because it sounds very cozy and cute. It says there are 10 golden rules if you want to survive an encounter with a fae. Don't ask their name. If they ask you what your name is, lie. Avoid looking directly in their eyes. Don't invite them to your book club. Don't instigate a snowball fight. Never let them burn their mouth on coffee. Don't ask them where they're from. Don't tell them where you live. Never mention their queen. And don't try to kill them with an ordinary human gun. If you fail to do any of these things, enslave them immediately. It's funny. I think it's about a woman who owns a cafe and something like that. I've heard it's really cozy. Similarly to the John Islington book, I did grab Malice, which is the first book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, which is yet another epic high fantasy that is over 600 pages, but it was on sale for $4.99. I thought that was a really good purchase. I don't know if I'm going to love this because, like I said, epic high fantasy is not always my preferred genre, but it says it's a tale of blind greed, ambition, and betrayal set in a world where ancient monsters are reawakening and a war to end all wars is about to begin. I picked up Shards of Glass by Michelle Segara. It went on sale for $2.99. I think it still is on sale for $2.99. And I believe this is a magical academia book, which I do really love that genre and that trope. So it says, the academia, once an elite proving ground for the rulers of the world, has been frozen for centuries. Now its strange slumber has ended, and a new chancellor, an orange-eyed dragon, has reopened its lecture halls and readied its dorms. In order to thrive once more, however, the academia needs fresh blood, new students with a passion and talent for learning. One such student, Robin, has the perfect recruit in mind, his friend Raven, an orphan who lives in the dangerous Warrens. Robin grew up in the Warrens, and he wouldn't have made it if not for Raven. He knows she'll be safe at the academia where her unusual gifts can be appreciated. But when students start turning up dead, the campus threatens to collapse completely. Raven and Robin will not let that happen to their new home if they can survive long enough to figure out who or what is trying to kill them. Then I also downloaded The Fire in the Glass by Jacqueline Benson. This is the London Charismatics Book 1. And Jacqueline Benson, is she the same one who writes The Empire of Storms? I'll look that up in a minute. I think she might be. Let me check. It is The Empire of Shadows. The Empire of Shadows. I got the name wrong, but I knew what it was, which is also a book that I'm very intrigued about, and I will be talking about in 1 minute. So that's funny. It's the same author. I didn't even realize that. But this says, London, 1914. Lily's visions could stop a killer if she'll trust a reclusive aristocrat with her darkest secrets. It says, a monster stalks the gaslit streets of Edwardian London, draining the blood of the city's mediums. Lillian Albright knows who's next. Lily is plagued by visions of the future she can never change. When a mysterious fiend threatens someone she loves, she's determined this time will be different, but she can't do it alone. To save a life, Lily must reveal her darkest secrets to someone she has little reason to trust, the reclusive Lord Strangford, a man haunted by his own occult powers. Little romantasy action? I'm feeling a little historical romantasy. Next up, I grabbed The Lies of Locke Lamora. I actually am not going to read the synopsis of this. I don't know much about it, but if you are a fantasy reader, this is like a cult classic, and I know it is quite long, and I'm a little intimidated by it, but if I'm going to read it at all, it's going to be on the Kindle, so I grabbed it when it was on sale for like $2 one day. While I was scrolling the deals on the same day, I came across a book called Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin, who wrote Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, Storied Life of A.J. Thickery, like some of these really iconic books. It was on sale for like $3.99, and I think, from what I understand, this is more classified as middle grade, written in 2005. So this is from a really long time ago, and it was one of her earlier works. But I grabbed it, and it says, is it possible to grow while getting younger? Welcome to Elsewhere. The beaches are marvelous, it's quiet and peaceful, you can't get sick, and you'll never turn even a day older. This is where 15-year-old Liz Hall ends up after she has died. It is a place so like Earth, yet completely different. Here, Liz will age backward from the day of her death until she becomes a baby and returns to Earth. But Liz wants to turn 16, not 14 again. She wants to get her driver's license. She wants to graduate from high school and go to college. Now that she's dead, though, Liz is forced to live a life she doesn't want with a grandmother she has never met before. And it isn't going well. How can Liz let go of the only life she has ever known and embrace a new one? Is it possible that a life lived in reverse is no different from a life lived forward? Sounds really interesting. My oldest son has just informed me that our lawn service just showed up, so in a minute, there is a very good chance you're going to hear a lawnmower go by. It is what it is. We're going to make it work, and our lawn does need to be cut because we have gotten so much rain here in Connecticut in the last few days. My lawn is growing so fast, so they're going to do their thing. Sorry if you can hear them in the background. We're almost done anyways. So the next book I grabbed was actually a recommendation from one of the girls that I absolutely love who works at my local Barnes & Noble, and that is A Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hook. I believe there's like 6 books in this series. When was this written? 2011. So it's another older series. I believe it's over 500 pages, so the Kindle is the way to go. And I think this is also middle grade. And it says it's about a teenage girl and a shape-shifting tiger finding romance, adventure, and a dangerous quest. A shape-shifting tiger? Yes, please. I guess that day I was just on my middle grade, like in my middle grade era, because I also grabbed Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. These are the 2 authors that wrote The Empire of the Vampire and, I believe, Illuminae. Wait, did Amy Kaufman write Empire of the Vampire? I don't know, but I know they definitely wrote the Illuminae series together. They do some really cool, like, sci-fi novels. So Aurora Rising the year is 2380. My dog is going nuts that my lawn service is here. And the graduating cadets of Aurora Academy are being assigned their first missions. Star pupil Tyler Jones is ready to recruit the squad of his dreams. And, but his own boneheaded heroism sees him stuck with the dregs nobody else in the academy would touch. A cocky diplomat with a black belt in sarcasm, a sociopath scientist with a fondness for shooting her bunkmates, a smart-ass tech whiz, it's really loud, with the galaxy's biggest chip on his shoulders, an alien warrior with anger management issues, and a tomboy pilot who's totally not into him, in case you were wondering. And Ty's squad isn't even his biggest problem. That'd be Aurora G. Lynn O'Malley, the girl he's just rescued from interdimensional space. Trapped in cryo-sleep for 2 centuries, Ori is a girl out of time and out of her depth. But she could be the catalyst that starts a war millions of years in the making, and Tyler's squad of losers, discipline cases, and misfits might just be the last hope for the entire galaxy. Nobody panic. So that sounded really cute, and I don't know why. I just went on like a middle grade downloading rampage, apparently. Like I said before, I downloaded another one of Jacqueline Benson's books, and that is Empire of the Shadows, which is the first book in the Raiders of the Arcana series. And I heard this described as like The Mummy meets, was it like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something? And that totally sold me. But it says, nice Victorian ladies don't run off to find legendary lost cities. One trifling little arrest shouldn't have cost Ellie Mallory her job, but it's only the latest in a line of injustices facing any educated woman with archaeological ambitions. I just think it sounds so good. There you go, guys. I was just about to say, that's it, guys, but that's it is not an accurate description for this video. I was supposed to buy 36 books, and I'm well over 55 or 60, so... I lost control, but happy birthday to me, happy Mother's Day to me, and I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope that I shared some books that you haven't heard other people talk about, because I love getting recommendations other than like the mainstream popular books that everyone seems to be reading. I mean, don't get me wrong, I read those too, but I love finding a book that I've never heard of before, and if it's on sale, it's even better. So if you have stayed this entire time, like, you are a real one. Please comment the shopping bag emojis for how unhinged this book shopping haul was, and then do all the things that you guys are literally professionals and doing, and I'm so grateful for it. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me which of these books sounds the most intriguing to you. As my lawn guy goes right by my patio doors, I think that is our cue to end this video here, but bye, guys.